let's finish up our grand finale of the stories until tomorrow when I read you the end of The Little Prince. Now let's snuggle up together. So, here we go. Hello, Eeyore, said Christopher Robin as he opened the door and came out. How are you? It's snowing still, said Eeyore gloomily. So it is. And freezing. It is? Yes, said Eeyore. However, he said, brightening up a little, we haven't had an earthquake lately. What's the matter, Eeyore? Nothing, Christopher Robin, nothing important. I suppose you haven't seen a house or whatnot anywhere about. What sort of house? Just a house. Who lives there? I do, at least I thought I did. But I suppose I don't. After all, we can't all have houses. But Eeyore, I didn't know. I always thought, I don't know how it is, Christopher Robin. But not with all this snow and one thing another, not to mention icicles and such like. It isn't so hot in my field about 3 o'clock in the morning as some people think it is. It isn't close, as you know what I mean. Not so as to be uncomfortable. It isn't stuffy. In fact, Christopher Robin, he went on in a loud whisper, quite between ourselves, don't tell anybody. It's cold. Oh, Eeyore. And I said to myself, the others will be sorry if I'm getting myself all cold. They haven't got brains, any of them, and only grey fluff that's brown on their heads by mistake. Blowing on their heads by mistake. And they don't think. But if it goes on snowing for another 6 weeks, one of them will begin to say to himself, Eeyore can't be so very much too hot about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it will get about, and they'll be sorry. Oh, Eeyore, said Christopher Robin, feeling very sorry already. I didn't mean you, Christopher Robin, you're different. So what it all comes to is that I built myself a house by the little wood. Did you really? How exciting. The really exciting part, said Eeyore in his most melancholy voice, is that when I came back this morning, it was there. And when I came back again, it wasn't. Not at all. Very natural. It was only Eeyore's house, but still, I wondered. Christopher Robin didn't stop to wonder. He was already back in his house, putting on his waterproof hat, his waterproof boots, and his waterproof Macintosh. As fast as he could. We'll go and look for it at once, he called out to Eeyore. Sometimes, said Eeyore, when people have quite finished taking a person's house, there are other 1 or 2 bits they don't want and are rather glad for the person to take back. If you know what I mean. So I thought if we just went... Come on, said Christopher Robin. And after they hurried, in a very little time they got to the corner of the field by the side of the pine wood, where Eeyore's house wasn't any longer. There, said Eeyore, not a stick... There, said Eeyore, not a stick of it left. Of course, I've still all of the snow to do with as I like. One must complain. But Christopher Robin wasn't listening to Eeyore, he was listening to something else. Can you hear it? He asked. What is it? Somebody laughing? Listen. They both listened, and they heard a deep, gruff voice saying in a singing voice that the more it snowed, the more it went on snowing, and a small, high voice tiddly-pomming in between. It's Pooh, said Christopher Robin excitedly. Possibly, said Eeyore. And Piglet, said Christopher Robin excitedly. Probably, said Eeyore. But what we want is a trained bloodhound. The words of the song had changed suddenly. We finished our house, sang the gruff voice. Tiddly-pom, squeaked the small one. It's a beautiful house. Tiddly-pom. I wish it were mine. Tiddly-pom. Pooh, shouted Christopher Robin. The singers on the gate stopped suddenly. It's Christopher Robin, said Pooh eagerly. He's round by the place where we got all those sticks from, said Piglet. Come on, said Pooh. They climbed down the gate and hurried round the corner to the wood, Pooh making welcoming noises all the way. Why, here is Eeyore, said Pooh, and when he had finished hugging Christopher Robin, he nudged Piglet, and Piglet nudged him, and they thought themselves that a lovely surprise they had got ready. Hello, Eeyore. Same to you, Pooh Bear, and twice on Thursdays, said Eeyore gloomily. Oh. Before Pooh could say, why Thursdays? Christopher Robin began to explain the sad story of Eeyore's lost house, and Pooh and Piglet listened with their eyes seemed to get bigger and bigger. Where did you say it was? Said Pooh. Just here. Native 6? Yes. Oh, said Piglet. What? Said Eeyore. I just said oh, said Piglet nervously, and sort of seemed quite at ease. He hummed tiddly-pom once or twice in a what shall we do kind of way. You're sure it was a house, said Pooh? I mean, you're sure the house was just here? Of course I am, said Eeyore, and he murmured to himself. No brain at all, some of them. Why, what's the matter, Pooh? Said Christopher Robin. Well, said Pooh, the fact is, said Pooh. Well, the fact is, said Pooh, you see, and said Pooh, it's like this, said Pooh, and something seemed very tell him that he wasn't explaining it very well, and he nudged Piglet again. What's like this, said Piglet quickly, only warmer, he added after a deep thought. What's warmer? The other side of the house, the other side of the wood, where Eeyore's house is. My house, said Eeyore, my house was here. No, said Piglet firmly, the other side of the wood. Because of it being warmer, said Pooh. But I ought to know. Come and look, said Piglet simply, and he led the way. There wouldn't be two houses, said Pooh, not so close together. They came around the corner, and there was Eeyore's house looking as comfy as anything. Inside as well as outside, said Pooh proudly. Eeyore went inside and came out again. It's a remarkable thing, he said. It is my house, and I built it where I said I did. So the wind must have blown it here. And the wind blew it right over the wood and blew it right down here, and here is as good as much as ever. In fact, better places. Much better, said Pooh and Piglet together. It just shows what can be done by taking a little trouble, said Eeyore. Do you see, Pooh? Do you see, Piglet? Brains first and then hard work. Look at that. That's the way to build a house, said Eeyore proudly. So they left a minute, and Christopher Robin went back out to lunch with his friends Pooh and Piglet, and on the way they told him of the awful mistake they had made. And when they had finished laughing, they all sang the outdoor song for snowy weather the rest of the way home, and Piglet, who was not quite sure of her voice, putting in the tiddly-poms again. And I know it seems so easy, said Piglet to himself, but it isn't everyone who could do it. And here's the picture of them building the house. And here is the picture of Piglet and Pooh and Eeyore looking at it. Well, my love, we've done it. We have done it oh so well, you and I. I've gotten it through a story for all nights. Except that one, but we're not talking about that. And I will be home tomorrow evening, and I'll come and get you from the airport. Make sure to keep your eye on Facebook. And I'll see you tomorrow. Sleep well, if you can, find a llama, carry on. And I love you, Christy. Good night. Ah, we're home tomorrow.